Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for Wednesday, October 29, 2025. I'm Adana Doric. In the headline tonight, government to seek death penalty after Regent Street bombing. New EID system for foreign nationals announced. Home Affairs Ministry tightens rules for motor lorry license. Formal training now mandatory. Venezuelan confesses to mobile fuel station bombing. 9 in custody as police probe gang link. PAHO and WHO strengthens regional fight against leprosy. Guyana targets elimination by 2030. And Guyana shifts prison focus from punishment to rehabilitation and reintegration. Now for the news in depth. Within 48 hours, the Guyana police force captured Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Piodumo, the man accused of detonating the explosive that rocked the mobile fuel station at Regent and King Streets, killing 6-year-old Soraya Bourne and injuring 4 of her family members. Colin Abrams has this report.
At a joint press conference held Tuesday evening by the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Guyana Police Force, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham confirmed that the prime suspect has confessed to his role in the deadly blast. Police revealed that 9 persons, including the main suspect, are now in custody. Investigators say Priodomo has been cooperating and told officers the explosive device was brought from Venezuela, equipped with a switch that was manually activated after it was planted at the site. Authorities said Priodomo was captured earlier Tuesday at Virgin Eugene Sideline Dam, East Bank Essequibo, following coordinated intelligence and several public tip-offs. A $5 million reward had been offered for his arrest.
The prime suspect, along with his accomplice, who's from Venezuela also, entered Guyana by legal means, by boat, last Sunday, that's the 26th of October, 2025. Is that the suspect is cooperating with the investigators. We have already secured a confession statement from him. Among other things that he mentioned to us is that the device, he brought it in from Venezuela to Guyana. He also indicated that the device had a switch which he activated when he exited the vehicle, which was parked within the vicinity of the gas station.
So far, police have not released a motive or identified the mastermind behind the attack. However, Blanham confirmed that the suspect is linked to a Venezuelan gang implicated in a series of cross-border crimes targeting Guyanese in the Cuney River area.
As we speak, what we were able to confirm is that he has some affiliation with a gang in Venezuela known as R. R is linked to the Sindicato gang. Secondly, the issue of identification, there's no issue about identification. The issue of identification does not exist. The prime suspect was positively identified by one of his accomplices. More so, the suspect, as I mentioned before, confessed to his involvement in this particular crime. There is no issue about identification any longer.
On Sunday evening, surveillance footage showed a Spanish-speaking man of mixed ethnicity arriving at the mobile compound with 2 large black plastic bags. When stopped from discarding them in a bin by the attendant, he walked away towards the southern end of King Street. Moments later, at around 7:36 p.m., a massive explosion ripped through the southwestern section of the station, close to where bottled cooking gas is stored. The blast caused severe damage to the building, destroyed nearby vehicles, and shattered windows of adjoining properties. 6-year-old Soraya Bourne was pronounced dead on arrival at the Georgetown Public Hospital, while 4 others remain hospitalized. Investigators are now working closely with regional and international partners, including Interpol, to trace the suspect's background, gang connections, and supply chain of the explosive device. Colin Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
In a major policy shift to improve road safety, the Ministry of Home Affairs will no longer routinely waive the requirements for obtaining a motor lorry driver's license. More in this report. Speaking on the Starting Point podcast, Minister of Home Affairs Oneet Walren said the decision comes amid growing concerns over reckless driving and accidents involving heavy-duty vehicles. She revealed that in recent years, too many untrained and often very young drivers were granted waivers, allowing them to operate large trucks and cantas without the proper preparation.
Too many applications for waiver from very young people for the requirement for the 2-year or 5-year requirement to drive a motor lorry. So I believe what was happening is that too many young people were allowed to drive these huge canters and the big vehicles without the requisite training.
Under the existing law, applicants for a motor lorry license must be at least 25 years old and have a minimum of 4 years driving experience. However, these standards were often relaxed in recent years to meet the rising demand for truck drivers during the construction boom. Minister Walren said this practice will now be strictly limited.
The commissioner and I have had that discussion. He's saying that you got to make sure that they go to the training before they get before they can apply for a motor lorry license.
The ministry says the new approach forms part of a broader national strategy to raise road safety standards and ensure that all truck drivers possesses the skills, experience, and discipline needed to operate heavy-duty vehicles safely and responsibly. Adana Dora, Ghana TV9 News. The government of Ghana has confirmed that it will seek the death penalty for Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Piodumo, who has confessed to carrying out Sunday night's deadly explosion at the mobile gas station on Regent and King Street, which killed 6-year-old Soraya Bourne and injured several of her relatives. Here is more. Speaking at the press conference on Tuesday night, Minister of Home Affairs Oneet Walren condemned the attack as an act of terrorism and cold-blooded murder, vowing that the state will pursue the hardest possible punishment under the law.
The penalty for terrorism under the section as quoted by the commissioner is death. And we will be pursuing that in the courts. We will be making a case for the death penalty.
Her statement came shortly after Crime Chief Wendell Blanham confirmed that the 27-year-old suspect confessed to planting the explosive device that triggered the blast. Police say Piodomo entered Ghana on the same day of the attack and was captured less than 48 hours later at Virgin Sideline Dam, East Bank Essequibo. He remains in custody along with the 9 other individuals who are assisting investigators. Meanwhile, Minister Walren also announced a major new national security measure, the introduction of an electronic identification EID card system for all foreign nationals in Guyana.
People do enter illegally, and to address that, the government has launched the EID program. And what will happen is that we will have cards, this program has already started, been rolled out. We have cards for citizens and we have cards for non-citizens. And what we will do is for the persons who are in Guyana illegally, they will be given a grace period in which to come to register and have this EID card. This card, you will not be able to do anything, perform any, access any services, banking without this EID card for non-citizens. And they will be given a grace period. After that grace period is expired and you do not register and have an EID card, you will be taken out of the country and other sanctions will be implemented. That is the policy.
The minister explained that the EID card will differentiate citizens from non-citizens and integrate with systems such as taxation, banking, and immigration, becoming a requirement for accessing government and private sector services. She said the initiative is being fast-tracked in response to security concerns following the Regent Street bombing, which allegedly involved persons who entered the country illegally. Adana Dora, Ghana TV9 News. Sol Ghana Inc., the authorized distributor of mobile fuels in Ghana, says it is fully cooperating with authorities investigating Sunday's deadly Regent and King Street gas station explosion, which claimed the life of 6-year-old Soraya Bourne and injured several others. In a statement, the company expressed deep condolences to the victim's family and appreciation to the emergency responders for their swift action. Sol confirmed that the incident is being treated as a criminal matter and that a suspect is already in police custody. The company has also launched an internal review in collaboration with the station's retailer and reaffirmed the safety of its staff, customers, and community remains its top priority as investigations continue. More news after this short break. Stay with us.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News. Minister of Home Affairs Onid Walrin has announced sweeping reforms for the Ghana Prison Service aimed at transforming it from a system of punishment to one of rehabilitation and reintegration. More in this Faith Sandy report.
Warren explained that the government is developing a new prison act to modernize the penal system and promote rehabilitation over punishment. She noted that most inmates are young men, and the objective is to prevent them from being trapped in a cycle of crime by giving them the tools to learn, earn, and rebuild their lives during incarceration. The minister highlighted plans to introduce more education and skills training programs within prisons, enabling inmates to pursue academic qualifications or learn trades. These initiatives will help them develop self-worth, gain employable skills, and prepare for productive lives after release.
So we want them to feel as though they have an opportunity to live normal lives after coming out of prison, and assisting them in this regard. We've seen it work many times. So it's removing the stigma, but it's also removing the way, revamping the way we treat with the entire system. More opportunities for them to earn in prison, opportunities for education, and rewarding them while in prison too, if they get a degree, if they go back to school, if they learn a trade. Let them start feel what it's like to live as productive human beings.
Additionally, a pilot work release program will allow carefully selected inmates to participate in infrastructure and beautification projects across Georgetown. Fitted with GPS ankle bracelets, participants will be monitored while earning income and contributing to the community, a move aimed at boosting confidence and easing their reintegration process.
So those programs are going to start. Like, for instance, we're going to start a pilot program where prisoners, after assessing the risk, of course, we're going to have them work in infrastructure projects. We have this huge mandate as government to build out beautiful Georgetown, build out our city, and they can be a part of this. So we are going to procure ankle bracelets. We have a few that we have, and we're starting a pilot project where we're taking the prisoners out on the streets, have them monitored with the ankle bracelet that has a GPS monitoring, and you're able to hear sound, and have them out there working, beautifying our city.
Waldron stressed that a rehabilitated inmate benefits the entire nation. As successful reintegration reduces crime and strengthens communities, the reform marks a shift toward a more compassionate, progressive justice system in Guyana. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Thank you, Faith. In a major step toward eradicating one of the world's oldest diseases, the Pan American Health Organization PAHO, in collaboration with the World Health Organization WHO, has launched a sub-regional leprosy training workshop at its Ghana's country office.
The week-long training brings together health professionals from 8 countries to strengthen their capacity in case detection, diagnosis, treatment, and follow-up care. Participants will engage in theoretical sessions, hands-on clinical practice, supervised laboratory work, and modules on prevention and documentation, all aimed at advancing the global goal of zero leprosy. Delivering remarks at the opening ceremony, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony commended PAHO and WHO for leading the regional effort and reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to eliminating leprosy by 2030.
We want to ensure that by maybe 2030 that we can eliminate leprosy from Guyana. While we are working on these diseases, we have also added additional things to the portfolio of what we want to eliminate. We feel that Hep C, that we can actually eliminate Hep C from Guyana. And we started out a couple of years ago by checking the blood bank and seeing people who come to donate. And some of them are positive for Hep C because in our screening of the blood, we are screening for Hep C.
Dr. Anthony explained that Ghana's strengthened partnership with PAHO has been transformative for national health programs. He highlighted the country's expanded capacity to treat hepatitis C, noting that through PAHO's support, the cost of medication has been reduced from $1,500 to less than $100 per patient.
We have been able to access the meds to treat patients with Hep C. And to put that in perspective, we were talking to Gilead to get these medications to treat our patients. And it would have cost us maybe $1,500 per patient for that course of treatment. And with the arrangement that we have with PAHO, it's less than $100 per patient. So it makes a big difference.
The minister also pointed to progress in cervical cancer prevention, the second most prevalent cancer among women in Ghana. Through PAHO's partnership, the government now produces the Gardasil 9 HPV vaccine at $15 per dose instead of the open market price of $360, making it available free of cost to girls aged 9 to 15 and women up to 45 years.
One of the things that we did with PAHO was we worked with them to get Gardasil 9 from Merck, and through that arrangement, we are buying these vaccines at about $15. If you have to go and buy them on the open market, it's about $360 per dose. So again, the arrangements that PAHO would have put in place is allowing us to access basically high-priced vaccines, high-priced medication at relatively cheap cost. So we have introduced that this year in our program, and we are now giving these out to children between 9 to 15 free of cost. And we've also extended the program for women between 16 and 45. So there are a number of initiatives that we have in terms of disease elimination, and we are hoping that that we're not only focusing on one thing, but we're trying to.
The sub-regional leprosy training workshop reinforces PAHO and WHO's commitment to strengthening health systems, reducing disease burden, and promoting universal health coverage. The initiative not only accelerates progress towards leprosy elimination, but also showcases Ghana's growing role as a regional leader in disease prevention and health equity. Adan Dora, Ghana TV9 News.
ExxonMobil Ghana President Alistair Rutledge has unveiled new insights into the company's upcoming long-tail project, calling it a game changer for Ghana's rapidly expanding oil and gas sector.
Rutledge said the development built on a non-associated gas field marks a new frontier for the company's operations in the Stabroek Block. Unlike previous oil-driven projects, Longtail's facilities are being specially designed for natural gas production. He explained that ExxonMobil is still finalizing contracts and evaluating the best options for utilizing the gas, whether for domestic power generation, fertilizer production, or export in partnership with the government of Guyana.
Well, we're still working through the contracting so we can truly understand what those costs would be before we get to a final funding decision.
Okay.
But directionally, the vessel that we're talking about in scale will look very similar to a yellowtail or a whiptail type of floating production facilities on scale. Now, the top-size facilities will look different because this is a non-associated gas field rather than a black oil field. But overall scale is similar. We expect to have a similar number of wells to, say, a whiptail development. So order of magnitude similar to whiptail, which was around $12.5 billion US.
Rutledge said the project could diversify Guyana's energy mix, spur new downstream industries, and open the door to long-term economic growth. Meanwhile, the Longtail project will also produce a clear condensate, a lighter, cleaner, and more refined petroleum product than the black crude from earlier developments. He described it as Guyana's most premium oil to date, noting that condensate is highly prized on the global market for its superior quality and versatility.
Yes, we've been through extensive studies on, well, first of all, exploring and appraising this southeast portion of the Stabroek Block to understand the resource that's there. And these are complex reservoirs at different depths with slightly different mixes of the gas and the condensates. And so we really needed to understand that and how they may be developed in order to then determine, well, what sort of a gas market would they need or would they match with. As you know, as it stands today, Guyana doesn't really have a gas market. It has a market that uses cooking gas, bottled LPGs, liquid petroleum gas, but it doesn't have a methane market, a piped market or large industrial users as we stand today.
With its high-value condensate and significant gas reservoirs, the Longtail project is expected to cement Guyana's position as one of the world's fastest-growing energy producers. ExxonMobil says it remains committed to ensuring that these breakthroughs translate into lasting benefits for the Guyanese people. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
And finally, in tonight's newscast, here is an update on the deadly Hurricane Melissa. The death toll was growing Wednesday as Hurricane Melissa made its way across Cuba and headed for the Bahamas, a day after making landfall in Jamaica as one of the region's strongest storms on record. Officials in Haiti said at least 23 people were killed as water rose in heavy rain. 8 deaths were reported in Jamaica, where the tropical storm warning has been lifted, and 1 in the Dominican Republic. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said a dangerous storm surge was expected in the Bahamas through the night, with eastern Cuba still at risk. Maximum sustained winds were 100 miles per hour, as what had roared into Jamaica as a Category 5 storm was now at Category 2. Humanitarian efforts have begun, while local officials struggle to contact some areas and assess the storm's damage. Jamaica's education minister said 77% of the island was without power. The U.S. government said it was deploying a disaster response team and search and rescue personnel to the region in a test for the Trump administration after its massive cuts to foreign aid this year. The United Nations was preparing aid, and Britain said it is sending £2.5 million, $3.3 million in humanitarian funding to Jamaica. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Adana Doric. Good night.